Today on the channel, we're looking at Cobra's answer to the Army Corps of Engineers. We've got the Techno-Viper on Way I Got It Figured.
The way I got it figured.
What's up, figure fans? Way I Got It Figured, back with another G.I.Joe Classified Series review. This time we're looking at number 117, Cobra Techno-Viper. I got this figure on Hasbro Pulse, and he was one of the first ones I got, even though he's one of the last ones I'm doing. I acquired the other figures in the wave, not Quick Kick, but Airborne and Big Boa in other ways. I wanted to do them more or less in order, even though I kind of went out of order anyway. Techno-Viper was originally brought into the G.I. Joe Real American Hero line in 1987, and he was an instant favorite amongst me and my play group. We liked the idea of Cobra technicians, guys that fix things. It sort of added an element to G.I. Joe that you didn't really have, like the crew guys that, you know, sort of did things that weren't shooting people or whatever you were doing with your G.I. Joe versus Cobra type battles. And of course, he did have like a plasma rifle and everything like that, so he could still fight, but that wasn't his main job. And that was a pretty cool idea. Besides being like a communicator, like Televiper, somebody that actually fixes things. Thought it was a cool idea. So the Techno-Viper, being number 117 in the series, we're getting pretty far up there. I think Metalhead's number 118, and then we'll be jumping right up right after that very shortly here with another wave, probably next month. So I definitely wanted to get this one in. So we're gonna do like we always do: get the figure out, compare them with some other figures, get you out of here with some final thoughts. So starting with the packaging, we've got the Techno-Viper, and I really like this artwork. It has a three-dimensional quality to it. Kind of think that's cool. Don't really see it much. I mean, it's definitely a drawing, but for some kind of way they made it seem somewhat 3D. Like a 3D render. I don't mean three-dimensional on the box, but it seems almost like a 3D render rather than a drawing. Probably the color method they used. Got your QR code to nowhere. Another picture of the Techno-Viper. And you got his file card stats. 2 mechanic, 1 melee weapons, 1 demolitions, 2 Siegecraft. Number 117 in the series. And you got some nice packaging art of the Techno-Viper. Looks like he's in Japan. I think it's a really cool backdrop. I don't know if they made this backdrop of 3D. I don't know how they did this, but it looks really cool. It's a tank there, but if it wasn't a tank, I might have thought it was like the Fast and the Furious or something. It sort of makes me feel like Tokyo Drift is happening around here somewhere. File card symbols once again. Got your insets. Sort of his little techno gauntlet, which is a new kind of thing he's got now going. And the classic backpack. So yeah, let's get the Techno-Viper out and see what we can see. Alright, so we've got the Techno-Viper out with all of his accessories laid here before him. And we're going to check them out one by one. But for starters, we're going to go ahead and say the Techno-Viper looks really cool. Out of the package. I like him. He's kind of beefy, kind of seemed like kind of strong dude, even though I don't know how strong you really need to be. You've got potentially energon powered weapons. If we're going by what's going on in the energon universe, you know, might be what's going on there. But Techno-Viper is a kind of a straight up redo with some upgrades of the 1987 figure, and he comes with the tools that he had on that original version, somewhat smaller, but they're the same tools pretty much. They're cast in black this time, whereas back in the day they were cast in silver. See here, they're like wrenches and hammers, and they were like sort of like, you know, the idea where they were like powered. So you know you could, you know, do more with them than the regular wrench or hammer or whatever, because it had power to it. You got the wire. Somebody else comes with a wire like this. Not immediately springing to mind who, but we've seen this wire before. Got a nice pistol, the blast effect port. This is the same pistol that comes with the bat, except the bat is cast in silver, and of course, he also has the bat's holster. We'll get into that in a bit. You got this sort of 3D readout with digital gauges and everything like that. I thought that was a really nice touch. That's kind of cool. It could go into either one of the gauntlets, which are actually separate pieces. Then you've got the classic backpack with the two tubes on it. All now, it's not all black. You've got some paint apps on here, the silver and the purple. And the purple kind of was making me think that maybe it's energon powered. And then you got the classic Techno-Viper blaster weapon. If I remember right, it's like a plasma gun of some kind. But it was cast in silver. Now it's cast in black. I would imagine, perhaps, potentially, if we were to get these guys as retro card figures, they'd come with, you know, silver versions of weapons to match the toys from back in the day. But, you know, that's just speculation. It's not like I know or anything. One difference that you did have is that the original 1987 Techno-Viper came with 3, maybe even 4 wires that connected to the backpack, so that the tools were, maybe I'm misremembering that. I don't know. It's been a while since I had a Techno-Viper. I feel like they all had wires. Maybe they didn't. Maybe you had to wire one at a time, just like this. I'm gonna have to check my facts on that. As for the Techno-Viper himself, as I said, he looks pretty good. Looks like the Techno-Viper. Got your nice silver Cobra logo. Nice, kind of got these shoulder pads going. The Techno gauntlets that, of course, are, like I said, they're separate pieces, so they don't stay on his arm in one static way. And you got your little wires that, you know, perhaps go into the, sort of go with the backpack. Obviously, this is all new. I'm not sure about the arm because you don't really get to see enough of it. And I don't recall seeing these legs on anybody. Certainly not the boots. So we might not have any reuse on this figure right now, but you know the reuse will come later, either in the form of another Techno-Viper, or they'll certainly figure out a character to use for this and make it look good. They've been really good about reuse of late. So I'm gonna have faith in them in that. As far as articulation, it's the standard G.I.Joe Classified Series articulation. He would be able to get into a T-pose, but the armor shoulder pauldrons are definitely gonna hinder that. Obviously, he's got the butterfly joints, as all G.I.Joe Classified Series figures do. He's got the old style waist. Swivel hips. Kicks up to about there. Kicks up to about there. Kicks back, not very far. Obviously, you got your drop down legs. Thigh swivel. Double bicep cut, but it is also hindered by the gauntlets. Ample knee bend. And I like that this figure isn't like overly tight or overly loose like a lot of G.I.Joe Classified Series figures sometimes. Got the boot cut. And of course he's got his ankle rockers. Pretty decent in the articulation department, but you do lose a little bit of it due to the gauntlets. But that's okay. As I said earlier, he has the same belt as the Battle Android Trooper. It just has no paint apps. It's a straight black belt. And the Techno-Viper did have like a printed gun on his left leg, so there you go. Stick this in here. I guess. I went further than that. Alright, so we got our Techno-Viper geared up, and he looked great. Well, the only problem I think I had was that the pistol won't really stay in. It won't go all the way in, rather. It'll stay in, but it won't go all the way in. I'll tackle that in the comparison part of the video. But he looks great, geared up. It's holds everything well. You don't have to worry about these coming off. It doesn't seem like anyway. You can actually point the blaster reasonably well. Look at his little techno readouts. Yeah, it's a pretty good looking figure. I like what they did. So I guess we'll move right on into comparisons. So the first comparison I'm going to make is with the Bat. Bat stands a little bit taller, but this guy's a pretty big dude because the Bat's like 6.5 inches. And so what I'm talking about with the pistol, you can see the pistol goes all the way in the belt, in the holster rather. And it's the same holster, but the Techno-Viper's pistol is not going in. You can see there's kind of a hole for the pistol to Trying to slide in. It's not reaching that hole, but the bats does. And you know, I don't want to make it out like it's some super thing. It does fit in there. It's not like it's gonna fall out, but you know, it's something to look out for, basically. There's that comparison. Then we'll line him up with his wave mates. So we've got Big Boa. We've got Airborne. And we've got Quick Kick. So there you go. That's that entire wave. Minus Metalhead, who we'll see soon enough. But yeah, those are comparisons. Looks like I can move on to final thoughts. Final thoughts on G.I.Joe Classified Series number 117, Techno-Viper. You know, like I said, this was a fan favorite back in the day, man. People in my play group, we loved this guy. We had 3 or 4 of them, and you know, it was cool to have them go in and build bridges, or sometimes we'd have them sabotage things or whatever. You know, there was a nice little sub core kind of guys in Cobra to play around with, and I think it's just as fun now in 2024. This guy's getting a 10 from me, dog. I like him. I really think they did a good job with it. Can't really detect any reuse. Not that reuse is really all that big of a deal anymore. We know what it is. It is what it is, and there's a reason why it has to be that way. But as a nice starting outing figure, it plays well, poses well. It's not super tight, and this is all based on the copy. But I just think that the figure looks good, works well. I can't really find any fault in it, so I got to give it a 10, and I have no problem doing that. So there you go. That's the Techno-Viper. Obviously, G.I.Joe Classified Series is a big deal around here. Gets a lot of play. You will see more, and maybe even a couple of surprises here and there this month. So yes, tune in. Stick around. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. We are trying to grow the channel. I want to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I think it's realistic. I'm working hard to earn the subscriptions, get people coming back and trying to do solid reviews. If you feel that way, if you like it, like what you saw, certainly consider subscribing. I certainly appreciate it. And thank you to everybody who has subscribed. You know, makes me happy to know there's people watching the videos. Okay, that's going to do it for this one. I'm going to sign off. Till next time, everybody stay safe. See you on the next video. Peace.
The way I got it figured.